Do you ever feel like your mind goes completely blank when someone asks you a simple question about your day? It's frustrating, isn't it? You know the vocabulary and you know the grammar, but when it's time to speak, the words just don't flow naturally. You aren't alone in this. The truth is, fluency isn't about memorizing a dictionary, it's about mastering the rhythm of your daily life. Today, we're going to change the way you think in English. By the end of this session, you won't just be answering questions, you will be telling your story with total confidence. The introduction. Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to engage in a special kind of speaking training. We are going to break down the barrier between translating in your head and actually speaking. This is designed to help you think in English and build rock-solid confidence when you talk about your daily life. Many people search for ways to talk about your daily routine in English, but they often get stuck on the details. We're going to solve that by going through 20 essential questions that cover your entire day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Here's how we'll do this. I'm going to ask you a question. First, I will give you a short, simple, natural answer, the kind you'd use in a quick chat. Then I will give you a longer, more detailed answer with richer vocabulary. After that, it's your turn. Instead of just listening, I want you to speak out loud. Let's get started. Section 1. The morning routine. Let's begin with the basics. The first question is, what time do you usually wake up? If you want to keep it short, you might say, I usually wake up around 7. But if you want to sound more fluent and descriptive, try saying, I usually wake up around 7 in the morning on work days. I try to get up as soon as my alarm goes off. However, on the weekends, I let myself sleep in a little longer to catch up on rest. Now I want you to answer. What time do you usually wake up? Say it out loud now. Excellent. Moving on to the next step. What's the first thing you do after you wake up? A short answer would be, I drink a glass of water. For a longer, more detailed answer, you could say, the very first thing I do is drink some water and do a quick stretch. It really helps me feel fresh and ready for the day. Sometimes I'm tempted to check my phone immediately, but I try to avoid scrolling through social media too early in the morning. Now it's your turn. What is the first thing you do? Next up, let's talk about food. Do you usually eat breakfast? The short answer, yes, I always eat breakfast. But let's expand on that. I always eat breakfast because I simply can't start my day without it. Usually, I'll have some eggs and toast. I also really enjoy having a hot cup of coffee to help me wake up fully. How about you? Do you eat breakfast? And if so, what do you have? Section 2. The commute and start of the day. Now that we are fed and awake, let's leave the house. What time do you usually leave home? Short version, I usually leave around 8:30. Longer version, I typically head out the door around 8:30. I take the bus to work, and the ride usually takes about 20 minutes. If I manage to leave a bit early and have extra time, I might stop to grab a coffee on the way. Your turn now. What time do you leave, and do you make any stops? This leads us naturally to the next question. How do you get to work or school? Simply put, I go by bus, or I go by train. But to keep the conversation flowing, you might say, I usually take the bus to work. It isn't the fastest way to travel, but I actually enjoy it because I like looking out the window and watching the city wake up. Tell me, how do you get to work or school? Do you drive, walk, or take public transport? Once you arrive, what time do you start work or school? Short answer, I start at 9. Longer answer, I officially start work at 9 in the morning. I actually prefer to arrive about 10 minutes early. This gives me a moment to organize my desk, check my schedule, and settle in before the real work begins. Over to you. When does your day officially start? Section 3. The workday. Now you are at your desk or in your classroom. What do you usually do in the morning? Simple answer, I check my emails and plan my day. Detailed answer, in the morning, my focus is on organization. I usually start by checking my emails and replying to the urgent ones.
I also make a to-do list of everything I need to accomplish by the end of the day so I stay focused. What does your morning look like? What are your first tasks? Time flies, and now it's midday. What do you usually have for lunch? Short answer, I usually eat a salad or a sandwich. Longer answer, for lunch, I try to keep things light so I don't get sleepy. I often have a salad, some soup, or maybe a sandwich. I really enjoy eating slowly and taking a moment to disconnect from work. What about you? Do you pack a lunch or do you buy something? After lunch, we hit the second half of the day. What do you usually do in the afternoon? Short answer, I keep working until around 4. Longer answer, in the afternoon, I continue working or studying. I try to stay productive, but I sometimes take a short break to stretch my legs or grab a light snack to keep my energy levels up. How do you spend your afternoon? Do you struggle to stay focused?
Finally, the workday is done. What time do you finish work or school? Short answer, I finish around 5. Longer answer, I usually wrap things up around 5 o'clock. However, if I have a lot of extra work or a deadline approaching, I might stay a little longer to make sure everything is done. When do you clock out or finish your classes? Once you are done, it is time to decompress. How do you relax after work? Short answer, I watch a TV show. Longer answer, after I get home, I like to change into comfortable clothes and make some tea. Then I'll usually watch an episode of my favorite TV show. It helps me switch my brain off from work mode. What is your favorite way to unwind after a long day? Now, let's talk about the evening meal. What time do you usually have dinner? Short answer, I eat around 7:30. Longer answer, I usually sit down for dinner around 7:30 in the evening. I prefer to have something simple. I think it's important to eat slowly and enjoy the meal rather than rushing through it. When do you eat dinner, and do you cook it yourself? And finally, the last question of the day. What do you usually do in the evening? Short answer, I read or watch something online. Longer answer, in the evening, I like to truly relax. I might read a book, scroll through some YouTube videos, or listen to a podcast. It's my quiet time before I go to sleep. And you? How do you spend those final hours of your day? Conclusion. You have just practiced describing your entire day in English. Remember, if you are looking for a comprehensive daily routine English conversation, repetition is key. You can replay this video, pause after my questions, and try giving different answers each time. Maybe one day you describe your ideal routine, and the next day you describe your actual routine. If you found this practice helpful and want to glow up your English skills, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to English Glow for more immersing speaking practices like this one. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.